sock knitters. Did you know that today is the first day of our sock challenge? If you haven't signed up yet, it is not too late. Go ahead and sign up. But what we're doing today is we are making a quick and easy slipper sock, especially for those that have never made socks before, because it's a little bit intimidating to have to short row a sock for the toe and the heel. The toe and the heel are exactly the same, so you don't have to learn two different things, just one. So I'm going to show you how to short row your socks. Okay, here is the exciting part. We are ready to short row the heel part of our sock. So all we're doing when we short row is we are pulling needles out into holding position and we're knitting a row. What we want to do with our carriage is to set it to holding position. So I have a brother machine to do that. On this machine, we just move to our H. If you have a Singer Studio or Silver Reed and you have some levers here, you're going to move these from the 2 to the 1. On this brother, I have an extra little eye, but that doesn't matter. So on this carriage, see it has the lever with the 2 and the 1. So we would just push both sides up to 1. So hopefully that helps if you have different machines. And what we're doing is we're pulling out one needle on the side of our carriage. So since my carriage is on this side, I pull out the needle that's on this side and then I knit one row. And you can see how the yarn went over the needle. It kind of wrapped itself around the needle. So now we are going to just keep repeating this. So now my carriage is on the left side of my machine, so I'm going to pull out one needle on the left side. And I'm going to knit one row. Now I'm on the right side, and I'm going to pull out a needle and knit one row. Now as you keep going, I always kind of pull this end needle back because it starts to just get loose here because our weight is either way down here at the bottom of our sock, but we're making a pocket. And so all this middle stuff gets loose. So I pulled this out and I'm going to knit a row. So my tension's maybe a little bit tight too, but so I'm just going to pull this back to make my stitch here a good stitch. And then I'm going to pull my yarn out. So because we're making this pocket here, we are going to want a weight on it. So I'm just going to use this kind of weight. There are some different kind of weights that you can use. You can put it in the front, especially now as you're doing the front of this. So I have my needle out. I'm going to knit a row. And I'm just going to keep knitting my rows. You can even use a couple weights if you need to. And sometimes I put my weights on the back. And if you have weights here and here, that helps too. Just keep an eye on things. Move them up if you need to. And your pattern will tell you how many stitches you're going to have back here when you're finished. So I have to knit down to 6 needles back here, or 6 stitches still in work. Okay, I have 6 after this row. Okay, and now we are short rowing back. So when we short row back, we are pushing in a needle opposite our carriage. So since we do that, we have this side here that hasn't been wrapped by any yarn. And if we just knit back across like this, then we are going to have a little hole in our sock here. And we don't want that. So we're just going to, it's called wrapping, but all you're doing
is putting your yarn underneath this needle, and then when you go back across, your yarn will be wrapped around this needle. So this is called wrapping. So I'm going to push one back opposite the carriage and wrap on my side of the carriage. So now we have a little bit of a pocket. So I'm going to put my weight behind my knitting. So go ahead and do that if you can get behind yours. So now we're over here. We have yarn that we want to wrap under our needle and push back one needle into working position so that this knits now. Push back a needle, wrap your yarn. And we just keep doing this until we get to the end. We get all of our needles back into working position. So we're on our last ones, but we're still pushing one back and wrapping. So now I don't have anything to wrap. Not a problem. I'm pushing this back so that I can go right into knitting the rest of my rows.
Short rowing the toe is exactly the same way that you short rowed the heel. There's no difference. If you're on the opposite side of your machine with your carriage, it's okay. It's still exactly the same. And that's all there is to short rowing. Wasn't that easy? So now you are ready to knit the rest of your foot, the toe, and the rest of the top of your sock so that you have a nice, cute little slipper sock. If you'd like the pattern, it is in our sock challenge. So check the link below in the description. And make sure you give your knitting machine some love this week.